Hey, it's Nathan. I'm going to walk through how I converted a Discord channel into a chattable, mind-mapped knowledge base using Google's Notebook LM. This is the Banadoko Discord. It's very active and has tons of information about open source AI tools and examples of things people are making. It's also really hard to keep up with. So there have been 4 months of conversation in the WAN 2.1 video model channel, and I wanted to turn this into something I could chat with. So Adrian already used Claude to turn this into a knowledge-based document that I've ported to a public site here on Notion if you want to check it out. But how could I chat with the chat? So first step, I needed to export all of the conversation out of Discord. So I used Discord Chat Exporter. Wouldn't run on my Mac, but it worked right away on Linux. And I ended up with a 45 megabyte HTML file with all of the chat history alongside 16 gigabytes of attachments. Next step was to convert that HTML to plain text. I used ChatGPT to make a Python script that converted the HTML file into plain text. Here's what it looked like in ChatGPT. I just ran that and I got my text file. Third step, the text file it generated is huge. It's about 130,000 lines and about 800,000 words, which is over the limit that Notebook LM lets you upload. So I turned that into chunks of the conversation with Sublime Text, each one at about 20,000 lines. Fourth step, I just uploaded it all to Notebook LM. And once it's in Notebook LM, it automatically creates a summary of what the sources are that you uploaded, and then you can go through and start to do all these interesting things like create a mind map. And it'll automatically create different categories and subcategories, and then you can click on one of these and it'll create a prompt for you to ask questions about that. So I learned about out-of-memory errors, and then I can ask a specific question about how long it takes to use the larger versus smaller versions of these models. And it also gives me citations in the source, which in this case is the chat, so I can look and see where in the chat that information is coming from and read back through, which is super useful and interesting. It's good in this case for making a timeline of what happened each week. It made a detailed timeline that you could see on the right there, but I wanted something a little faster to read through. So I just asked for one made by the week and ended up with this. The other cool thing about this is that it can make an automatic podcast-style audio overview.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're diving headfirst into the pretty fast-moving...
You can also do this interactive mode where you can talk to the hosts of the podcast and ask them questions, and they'll talk back to you. So all in all, this is super useful and really an interesting way to take a ton of information and make it distilled down into something that's more digestible and that you can actually chat with. That's it.